All right, I got that book you were looking for. Saints. How's this one coming along?
Oh, I'm liking that. I'm really liking the story, Torin. I think it's good. I'm starting to really get feel. I'm still a little bit afraid of Lila. It's Lila. Okay, Lila. Oh, she's fantastic. Still scary. She's still raccoon. So
Looks like you made a pretty big dent in it.
I've been hitting this. I've been hitting it hard. You know, lots of extra carrot juice just to keep me going. But no, it's good. It makes me want to go play in the graveyard. It makes me want to go look at all the different headstones.
I'm not sure I'd recommend that.
Oh, come on. There's so much to see, and like I want to start classifying all these different ghosts. Like all these dancing ones, they sound fun. Like, but why are they there? And the bigger ones, they sound spooky. And then I do like the way this Ivo, the way he's starting to do his casting. I think it's kind of not nice. I think I might want to start working some percussion into the way I'm casting, see if I can get a better rhythm going. I was thinking maybe get a little more jingles on my feet, maybe like a kick drum somehow, or some ankle, you know what I mean? Or egg shakers.
Just read this book about saints and necromancers and then maybe make decisions after you do.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I got another question. How come there are no goats in the graveyard? You figure these people would like revere their gravestones and their heritage, and they would have like goat farmers out there eating all the shrubs and all the grasses and the sheeps eating all this stuff.
Well, I guess you haven't been out in the cemetery much, but
no, I've been kind of stuck in here.
It's not just ghosts out there.
Oh yeah? What else is out there?
Keep reading.
I'll have to keep reading. Hey, I'm about due for a break. You want to go get some breakfast? I could use some breakfast. They keep talking about their different foods and stuff, like their crepes. I could go for a nice good crepe or something.
Sure. The third shift's not that far. We can go get something.
Oh, sweet. Well, hey, I don't even know what time it is. Is it breakfast time? I guess it's always time for breakfast.
It's always time for breakfast.
Hey, thanks, Torin.
Third shift is already busy by the time the two of you get back.
All right.
People enjoying drinks. Looks like another group of salters has finished their shift and they're meeting up with the crew who's going to take the night shift. Before long, an Ision. He's got a wide-brimmed hat with a feather in it. His plumage is sort of a grayish blue, and he's got a satchel over his shoulder, which he takes a clipboard out of and says, "All right, who's here for the tour?"
That would be me.
Same.
Names?
Lila.
I'm Ivo.
All right, you didn't make a reservation. That's fine. We've got some room. All right, it's going to be 5 silver each, and we're going to get ready to go in about 10 minutes. Wait for people to come and get themselves ready. If you want to sit down and order a quick drink, they actually allow you to take them a walk around town with them too, so it's fine.
Okay. All right, I'm adding that I paid 5 gold.
Silver.
Or 5 silver, I mean.
I think I'm not getting a drink this time. Do you want something?
No. Lila is great. Laughter, no.
Okay.
Yeah, the two of you have actually just come off of a late breakfast with Agatha. So you've probably got full stomachs and, yeah.
We are satiated.
Yep. A little bit of time goes by. Other people gather around this Ision, and before long, the tour is ready to start. He gestures for everybody to gather around and says, "Hello, everyone. My name is Branch. Welcome to Afterlife Tours. I hope you are all ready to walk. This is going to probably be about a 2-mile tour tonight. We're going to pace ourselves. We'll probably stop at a few inns on the way. About halfway through, we'll take a little bathroom break, and if you want to stop and get drinks, like I said earlier, we've got an agreement with the local law enforcement, with local paladins. If you want to take drinks on the road, we can do that here. Are we all ready to go?"
Okay, cool.
Ready as I'll ever be.
Yay! So excited. I'm in the papoose.
I don't wear a papoose. This isn't Battle Buddies.
Oh.
But you're on my shoulder
That's
like
what
you've
I
been.
meant.
That's fine.
Sorry, wrong game.
The group heads out. Branch leads what are probably 12 or 13 tourists out towards the cemetery. The sun has just gone down, and you can see the fog gathering behind the fence as he begins his tour. And as he begins his tour, the two of you hear stories that you have heard about a dozen times so far about the founding of Greenfield and all that good stuff and how long things have been around. And he takes you along the fence of this cemetery up towards the town. The first stop is in the lowest tier. It's not that far from the third shift, and it is an old ramshackle building that looks like it was built a couple hundred years ago. And Branch begins to tell you the story of the murder that happened in this building and the people who still haunt it to this day. You don't see any lights in the windows or anything, but the story is chilling, and he tells it in a way that has people clutching onto their friends and a little bit shaken up.
Question.
Yes.
Can Lila make a perception check on Mr. Branch?
What would you like to look for?
See how much he's lying, or
sure.
how much is made up.
That's
about.
more like I think insight's the word that you're looking
That's
for.
what I was
I don't know if
thinking
there's.
It is
About like-
perception in this game.
Okay.
That is perception. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Finish what you were saying about him, and then I'll roll perception.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
He talks about his group of investigators, people who attended the Applegate school and people from elsewhere in the country who have done investigations in this house and seen the ghost, seen mysterious happenings. Yeah, if you want to do your perception check, it's going to be against a red and a purple.
All right. Give me a reason I should argue for another dice.
You should always argue for a boost.
I would argue that because he's not like hiding anything, he's standing up front leading a bunch of people. This shouldn't be hard for you
No.
to see.
Through his shenaniganry.
I don't think there's any shenaniganry. I don't know why you are instantly suspicious
I'm
of
instant
everybody.
bad cop, okay? I'm suspicious of everyone.
I know you are.
So,
I'll give you a boost because he is obviously putting on a show. He is the center of attention, and
theatrics.
What was that?
Like theatrics, like kind of.
Yeah. See how much of it is theatrics and how much of it is true.
So is that the yellow or the green one
That's
I get?
blue.
A blue. All right, sweet. I got my boost. All right, here we go. Roll.
3 successes, 1 threat. You're
Yeah.
obviously checking this guy out in like you know what you're doing, professional sort of way. But he is telling the truth, and I think the next leg of the tour, he addresses you specifically with the place that he shows.
Was it because was it a raccoon that was murdered? Who was murdered?
And this one was it was a human who was murdered.
Human.
He was a patient of a doctor. It's a very creepy story.
Oh, thank you.
But the next house, as you go up the hill to the mid-tier, he stops out front and begins the story. And would you like to describe what happened in this building and what the building is?
Wait, so we just were like in a hospital setting?
The first one it looked like a home.
Yeah, but the victim was victimized by a doctor, he said. But you get to describe the next one.
Describe the next house?
The next building and what happened there.
Oh, next building. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to say it's a hatter shop. So, and I'm going to, it's almost Sweeney Todd-esque, I was thinking. Like, oh, well, that's why they were called Mad Hatters, though, because of all the mercury that was in them. So, but the Hatter went crazy that was making it because he was using too much mercury on making the hats. And
what was mercury even used for in hat making?
you don't know the history of hat making?
No.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so the reason why the Mad Hatter became about was because they used mercury to make hats for the gentleman hats. And so when you put mercury on somebody's head, it makes you go crazy.
Oh, it was used to toughen the fur's fibers.
Yeah.
To make them mat together more effectively. Okay.
Yeah. So what he would do.
So like fur hats and stuff were just like, they were used to moisten the fibers. Wow. So they just soaked these things in mercury. Cool.
It's crazy.
This is the mercurial specter of Mueller millinery.
Millinery
is hat making.
So he goes mad. Did he start killing patrons, or does he off himself, or what?
I'm just gonna say, like, he started opening his hat shop late at night, and any poor unfortunate soul that happened to walk in, he would draw them back and then hide them in his cellar, and they would go crazy because he would put their hats on them.
Oh,
until they passed away.
He needed models.
He needed models for his hats.
And
I'm sorry, that was really dark.
It could have been darker.
Could have been darker.
So at this spot, Branch pulls out a little jar from that satchel that he has, this big leather bag at his side. And as he's telling the story, he is showing off this little jar that has a little swirl of mercury in the bottom. And in the dark of this late fall evening, you can see that there's a little bit of glow from the interior. And then you move on to the third stop, which is actually the library that you got your information at earlier today.
The library. Go figure.
And here he tells the story of the site that this library was built on, where a battle took place hundreds of years ago, and the specters of soldiers haunted this place. He actually tells the story of Agatha Applegate, who took care of the problem here. And then what's the fourth stop?
Did Logan do this one?
Yep.
Remember the haunted hamburger?
Yeah. Okay, backstory. Hold on. We went for our anniversary to Sedona, and there's this little creepy town up in the side of the mountain called Jerome.
Jerome, Arizona. And Jerome has one thing going for it, and that is its ghost stories. And so you can go to a place in Jerome, Arizona.
The food's really good.
Yeah, the food is great, but it's called the Haunted Hamburger. So I want to say that the next stop, especially since they said that they would have like a halfway marker where people could like stop and like use the restroom or refresh themselves or whatever. But I say it's at like a pub where you could get like sandwiches, that kind of like pub fare. You could get a drink. So it's not the third watch, but it's just another pub in town. Is that okay? Can there be another pub in town?
But the thing is I think you should make it okay. So here's the one weird thing about Jerome, Arizona, Mark. The whole city is like on stilts. Okay.
Well, it's literally built on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
So
this is built into a hill.
Yeah.
So it could be very similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's have a haunted pub be the next place. And I liked the ghost stories in Jerome. Nothing was super violent or anything like that, but things could just get annoying for anybody who was building in Jerome because their tools would get moved, things would go missing. They might set up a ladder in one place and then the ladder would be like set up somewhere else, and like everybody swears that they didn't move it, but you just kind of had those sort of like mischievous things going on, and it could get dangerous if you're up on scaffolding and things start to move. So I don't think in Jerome's story anything ever got crazy, but I think maybe since we're on this ghost tour, I think maybe these sorts of like mischievous things did actually result in somebody like falling off scaffolding because a leg of it was
I could see it
moved,
though.
or a hammer was moved to someplace unfortunate and it fell on somebody's head down below. So something like that happened, and somebody was actually, unfortunately, fatally wounded. But that was just the inspiration. It doesn't need to be exactly like Jerome.
Right.
I'm just saying, let's go to a haunted pub where the ghosts mess with people mischievously, but it did result in at least one death of like somebody falling. So
yeah, it's the happy Holda.
The happy Hilda.
Oh, Holda's, because that works for you.
Yeah.
That's his ghost. Happy Holda. Oh, and Ken, I want Ivo to grumble under his breath when he sees the name of this fourth stop. Just, of course, Holda's. It had to be Holda's.
So Branch stays outside while all the rest of the people go in and grab drinks and use the facilities, and it's about a 10-minute stop before you all get going again.
Fun.
Okay.
Did you have anything that you wanted to ask him? This would be a good time, or we can continue the tour.
I'll stay outside and just start off casually, like, so Branch, how long you been doing this?
What, the ghost hunting or the tours?
Yes.
I like your voice, by the way. It's very deep and raspy.
It's like I have one idea for my characters. How long have you been ghost hunting?
Ghost hunting since I was 14. I went to
Wow.
Applegate school, so they start us young.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Maybe in his late 30s.
She's been doing it for half of his life.
15 years, yeah. 15 plus.
Wait, late 30s.
Yeah, he's been doing it for 20 years.
That's more, it's closer, yeah, I was going to say more 25.
Is the ghost tours just a side gig for you?
Yeah, I mean, ghosts in town have been dwindling. I mean, the school takes care of most of them. There's still a lot out at the cemetery, obviously. I got family in town. I don't really want to go out that far. Ghost tours are fun. And I do them, 5 days a week and take a day off. And the last day I'm usually out with my crew doing a hunt or an investigation or something like that.
Have you seen anything weird recently? Anything abnormal?
What kind of abnormal? I mean, none of this stuff is normal.
Well, like, the ghost that you saw, I don't think that's normal, right? Can we just tell him about the ghost, the one that came up from the middle of the cemetery, moved west towards the town?
Yeah, just you tell him about that. Yeah, I have seen that one. I have not encountered it. It is a little weird.
Seems like a big deal.
I've only seen it from a distance, and there have been stories, but, stories. Well, first showed up a little bit after the lantern went missing. But yeah, nobody really knows who it is or how to go after it. It seems like it might be a tough one.
I wonder if it...
What do you want to ask him? I don't have anything other than that.
You're talking about the ghost that we saw at the...
You saw it. I didn't even see it.
The really bright one.
I was all distracted by paladins that were fake. So,
if we're lucky, we'll see it tonight. One of the next stops is a big overlook of the cemetery.
Great. Well, maybe... Does anybody have, like, binoculars or, telescope?
I don't think we have any of that in our gear.
Are we allowed to buy some if there was one in such place?
I mean, I don't have a spyglass, but...
Could I talk to the person who's running the pub for drinks and see if they have something I could even borrow?
All he was offering was us to question this tour guide, and you're stretching it.
Yep.
You do have a story point if you want to flip it.
I do want to flip it.
Okay.
Now we have no story points.
Yes.
Oh, we do. Dang it.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Where's the story coin?
We'll be fine. Here you go.
All right. I'm
There it
asking
is.
for binoculars, spyglass, or telescope.
He looks and he like reaches into his bag. I might have something actually. Fiddles around in there for a second and pulls out a small spyglass, probably like 8 inches long.
Ah,
Yeah, you could use this up at the overlook if you want.
fantastic. Thank you.
Yep, I could tell that you were really into this stuff.
Well, she's going to start fiddling with the spyglass to figure out how it works. So that way she gets a really good perspective.
The tour starts back up.
Okay.
The next place, the last place before this big, before the overlook is this, it used to be a pub before it closed down. And they say that about 100 years ago, there was somebody who was angry that somebody had apparently stolen his pigs.
Oh.
There was a duel on the staircase, and somebody tripped and fell down the staircase and died there. And they have been haunting the place since. And then they move on to this overlook. I think you've actually been to this overlook before. You can see the entire cemetery spread out in front of you. The glows of tons of dead things moving slowly around in blues and whites and yellows. And I'm going to flip a story point.
Okay.
Branch goes on talking about the cemetery and the history of the cemetery. A lot of it's stuff that you've heard before, that it's been around since before this town was founded and all that. And in the center of it, you're looking at the spot that you think that the Applegate Memorial is, right towards the center of the place. And you see a dim white glow.
Oh, okay. I pull out the telescope or the spyglass to get a better look.
Aiming that spyglass at the center, you see the shape of a person, partially obscured by fog. You can't quite, with that story point flip, you can't quite make out what exactly they look like.
Mark.
But they're gone. Yep.
It's okay.
They are skinny with, you could actually probably compare them to the statues. You're getting glimpses of those statues in this memorial as well. And it looks like it is a little bit taller than the statues, like unnaturally tall and thin and gaunt. And it, as you look at it, begins to brighten and brighten and brighten. And then as it brightens to its full brightness, it's just sort of lost in this bright glow of the fog around it. You can't make out exactly where it is anymore. And then it streaks across the cemetery, straight towards the two of you.
Oh no!
And disappears at the wall that's beneath your feet.
What if it's...
That's the same one. I want to know, can we assume that this is the same one that she's seen before?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Same path.
That's
You're in
the
a different
one.
spot, but it's the same path.
That's the one.
Do you still have some of those things to throw at it?
No. I mean, it's gone now. It
goes,
zooms and then it disappears.
Yeah, it has disappeared.
What if it's trying? What if that is the light?
It is.
What if
what do you mean?
The lantern? Like what if? Because the rumor is that Applegate put his soul in the lantern, and what if he just escaped and he's trying to get?
It
back?
doesn't look like he's escaped. If he's running the same track every night,
Yeah.
he's still there.
So maybe during the day we have to try to look and see where his track is going. Because I'm guessing, can I roll?
It's just a hard thing to find something that half the people in the town don't even care if it's found, and the other half the people say that it can't be found because it's been over, forever. It's been over a year, right? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been over a year.
It's been over a year since this thing is gone, and then here we show up. We're like green adventurers, and we're like, we'll find it. It's been over a year. Nobody else
Other
has
people
found
have
it.
gone looking for it and have gone missing.
Disappeared, right? So there's no information. Then you get this ghost that runs the same track every night. I definitely think that's important.
Okay.
I understand.
Well, the track. Okay. My question is, can I roll perception to see if I can see any track, like trail left, and like where this ghost is beaming to?
My question is similar but different in its like goal. I'd like to roll perception as well for what it's worth from Ivo's roll, but I just want to see if it's hitting any specific landmarks. It's starting in the center, which is a big landmark that we've been to. Does it hit any other important landmarks when it comes towards the town?
But you can tell it definitely doesn't go anywhere near the monument of St. Angelus.
Right.
That Battle of Verdant Fields.
Okay.
But I will let you both roll a perception check if you
We can
like.
argue for boosts.
That's true.
You can argue for boosts, but I'm giving you setbacks because it's dark.
Right.
One setback
Okay, I'm
each.
gonna argue for boosts because I have the spyglass, so I'm gonna
That's
look.
fair.
look through to see if I can find any
You can
details.
have a boost for the spyglass.
Yes, blue. And it's against the... Dang it. Go back.
What are we rolling against, Mark?
You're rolling against 2 purples.
2 purples.
I want a boost because we expected this to happen. Like
Okay.
this wasn't something that was okay.
So it's 2 purples, and don't forget the black die too.
Oh,
Oh,
my bad.
I didn't put the die at black.
That's okay. You can just roll a black die.
Oh,
1 threat,
dang it. I forgot.
and hers is blank.
Wow. So Ivo rolled overall 2 advantages and a triumph, no successes,
Right.
and Lila rolled 1 success.
Okay.
So with Lila's success, looking through that spyglass, following the path that this ghost took, you definitely saw that it started at the Applegate Memorial.
Okay.
It started among those statues. And as it moved towards the wall that you are standing on top of, you watched it go as well as you could because it was so bright in that darkness. And tracing its path to this wall, you see that it begins to get even more overgrown and untended than any of the other parts of the cemetery that you've been in.
Okay, so that's the area that I thought maybe that we should cut down.
So there's three advantages. Do they not do anything because I didn't succeed?
No, you still get to spend those advantages, and you
Okay.
still get to spend that triumph.
Right.
Can you hold
And
on?
I can
Okay.
give you the at least one of the advantages, if you'd like.
Yeah.
So you are trying to pay attention to the thing out there in the cemetery, and Lila is like watching its path and concentrating pretty hard on it. Ivo, in addition to trying to look and see it, he also has an ear on the tour, and he hears Branch talking. The old part of the cemetery right below us right now, it's been untended for years. It's pretty much the last place the Salters are going to go. It's been out of use for a long time, and there are few tombs that are remembered down there.
So yeah, if something was going to be hidden,
Go somewhere.
you're right. That is the place. I want to make sure Kayla's remembering correctly. That is the place that she had recommended that we clear before, right?
Yeah. And can I spend your other advantage?
I would spend it.
You recall from being among the Applegate statues that the one Faraday among them was looking over her shoulder
Right.
That's what
Towards the
this
town
area.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's what I think I understand. I've been reluctant to do it, but I think that you're right. I think we have to explore the unexplored part of the cemetery. I'm just afraid that I'm not going to defend you well enough, and we're going to get it. We're going to get it.
We become the ghosts.
Because nobody else who's ever gone there. But yeah, Salters won't go there, you know? Salters won't go there. There's a out of place statue that's looking that direction. It's in the path of this special ghost. Like, I mean, Mark is giving us all the hints that we need. I'm just so reluctant to do it. But yeah.
What if we do it during the day and cleared during the day and then kept watching at night until we can get a clearer view?
Or we just search it by day when supposedly we're a little safer. The thing is I think that this might be a plot that involves more than the dead. There's somebody alive who's involved with this.
I agree.
And they're not going to just be there during nighttime, you know. And if we go messing around during the daytime, we're visible too. So it's not like we're going to be able to do this secretly. But yeah, it is one way or the other. That's where we got to go. Okay.
What if we hire
Fair enough.
Branch?
But let's make sure we finish out this tour too. Like any other stops that he wants to make, I'm
Right.
game for it.
Let's hire Branch to be our protector.
No.
Why not? You're the one who's hesitant.
I mean, we could always just tell Agatha what we're up to, and like we could be like, "Hey, if we don't come back, this is what happened to us."
No, Agatha might.
Well, because maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's why like nobody ever heard of the others because they didn't tell anybody what they're doing. I mean, I'm fine just telling Agatha like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. If we're not back in a day,
Yeah.
at least you know where to get started." Because then that way they can build off of knowledge. I think the problem is that nobody's talking to anybody, and there's no like building off of knowledge, you know. But at least if Agatha knew what our plan was, if we don't come back in 24 hours, it means something. Like
Bad
even if we're not 100% right, we were right about something, and she can start from there.
Yeah. Well,
that's at least a worthwhile sacrifice.
Right. I mean, yes, telling somebody is important if you're going to go romp anywhere that is not civilized.
Okay. But I think I understand. I appreciate spinning the advantages, Mark. I still have a triumph, but
you do have a triumph.
Can you save that?
Well, no. I mean, not unless I was going to use it pertain
Maybe
to
a
something
triumph you
like
can
this.
use to like maybe see this like super clear.
No.
Or what about the tomb downstairs? He said there's a tomb. Or
let me just see if from this perspective,
okay.
Because we're still kind of new to town, but we've been to the cemetery a couple times now. Once with Salters, once with a personal tour guide. We've seen it from a couple different angles, and now we're looking at it from this overlook again. What I would like to say is that I can map out a quick route for the two of us from this perspective.
Escape route.
Is that okay? Like, I know once we get back down on ground level, like, I don't want to get lost. I want to know what our goal is and be able to remember it.
Can I prepare
what
markers?
It looked like from this bird's eye view. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Map in my head.
As this thing moved, it moved so quickly that the fog around it dissipated.
Okay.
And you get a good idea of what the ground looks like around there. You see spots of patchy trees and shrubs and a few large tombs, and you can also spot the places where ghosts are clustered down there. Places that you might want to avoid.
Okay. Hey, I like that. Places that we might want to avoid. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's finish out this tour.
The tour of about a dozen of you moves on from this overlook and heads back down the hill in the general direction of the third shift. There is another stop at an old haunted bakery where Branch is laughing about this one. This one's like sort of a local joke of
they use too much bleach.
He's like a pastry ghost that swirls shapes in the flour while you're not looking.
Okay.
And the last stop before he drops you off at the third shift again is the base of this cemetery, that entryway that you took in before. And he does something that like all the people on the tour are like, whoa, worried, as he walks into the cemetery with his rapier drawn to give the last bit of this tour. It's the brave adventurer ghost hunter he is.
Right.
Right, because...
But he doesn't actually go far enough in where he's in any day. He stays close to the iron case.
From your experience, the place that he is in is well salted, and ghosts aren't going to go there, and it's been tended after for years.
Good show.
Yeah. And he drops you off at the third shift. Okay. And stays around for people who have questions, and a couple of people give him tips, and generally just hangs out at the third shift while a crew of salters leaves and heads into the cemetery.
Of course. I mean, we've asked everybody else, and everybody else in town knows what we're up to. I don't see why. I mean, at this point, if we've alerted our presence to the bad guys, we've alerted our presence to the bad guys.
Sure, yeah.
So I think before going up to their room to rest, Ivo would probably just want to pick Branch's brain on, his thoughts on the missing lantern.
Sure.
And, I'll just say something like, so you're doubly qualified, it seems like, as both a hunter and a tour guide. You must know a lot of the things around this locale. Plus you live here. What are your thoughts on the missing lantern?
He's sidled up to the bar, this big, heavy wood bar, and a Durin is serving drinks. I mean, I think the rumors are true. I think it was a Faraday, but I mean, there are so many of them. Which one is it anyway? So, I don't. You two are looking for it then?
Well, you could say that. Also, this spyglass is very handy. Can I buy it off of you?
Sure, I would take a very generous tip.
Thanks for listening to Tales from the Gray Library. The Lost Lantern features the voices of Kayla and Logan from the Battle Buddies podcast. Battle Buddies is an actual play D&D podcast focused on collaborative storytelling, exciting adventures, and meaningful friendships. You can find them wherever you get your podcasts, and they have new episodes every other week. If you liked today's episode, be sure to subscribe to Tales from the Grey Library for reminders about new episodes. Be sure to also leave us a rating and a review wherever you get your podcasts. Tales from the Grey Library is based on The Otherplace by Mark Eberhardt. If you like this story, be sure to listen to The Otherplace and Fenrayne Files wherever you get your podcasts. Tales is played using the Genesys system by Fantasy Flight Games and Edge Studio. Tales is produced by Nightcast Creative. To find out more about us and the podcasts we make, visit nightcastcreative.com.